That's Tombstone. That's my Tombstone figure. Leave Tombstone alone. Don't violate.
Now please show me on the doll. Where did he touch you? Where did he put the fireworks?
You know my brother blew up one of my action figures with fireworks?
Wait, really?
Yeah. He tied a Spider-Man, one of my Spider-Man figures when we were kids.
And
we were
cried about it.
And yeah, I did cry a ton. He still owes me a Spider-Man figure. Jorge, you owe me a Spider-Man figure.
We both know he's not watching.
He's not. He watches sometimes.
That's a freaking lie.
I don't.
No,
watch.
he said.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Hi, welcome to Stories with Issues.
That's gonna go.
I'm Lalo.
I'm Jeremy.
And since Jens is not here, I decided to go on and start without him the big Dan Slott Saga that we're doing. Yes. Starting from Big Time. It was a mistake having my girlfriend come over. Dan Slott started this his run on Spider-Man actually on Brand New Day back in 2008 after One More Day. Dan Slott started his run on Spider-Man, and after he got it, he never let go. He was in the book for 10 years.
Wait, didn't he actually go recently though?
He did. But after 10 years.
Okay, so 10 years he didn't let go.
Yeah. And everyone was like, if you listen to interviews of he had 2 rules. He would not write for a character that he couldn't come up with anything.
He didn't like or was uninspired by it?
No, that there was stuff that he couldn't do from him. Like the Atom. He gave an example from the Atom. Mm-hmm. The Atom is a really real life science superhero that would not...
Okay. So something he doesn't have an actual background in. Kind of like how the creator of SpongeBob's a marine biologist.
Yeah. He is?
Yeah.
Holy crap, that's dope. I didn't know that.
A lot of the stuff... so that's why you see a lot of pollution and stuff in SpongeBob, is because he likes to make comments on it.
Oh, shoot. Cool.
Well, this is where you'll see the rest in peace message for him. So.
Stephen Hillenburg?
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, and after Dan Slott started on his run, it took him a while to get, because when he first started, it was him and 3 other writers. Mm-hmm. So there were 4 writers writing Amazing Spider-Man, each 1 book a week. Mm-hmm. So 4 times a month, and they would rotate with stories. And what they would do is, this story is, and it was until Big Time, where Dan Slott finally said, "No! I am taking over the title and I'm doing everything I want with it." And after this book is where he took over. And he would not let go until Nick Spencer came around. And we all know how that goes. So we're gonna start with Big Time. And Big Time starts in the first Sunday of November. And it starts with Spider-Man leading the freaking Avengers. So, and he yells, "Avengers, assemble!" And Hawkeye replies, "Wait, hold on. Why does he get to say it?" And he says, and Wolverine replies with his bad guy, "When it's one of yours, you can say it." And Iron Man starts giving orders. He starts giving orders to the Avengers, and right now they're not the normal Avengers. They're not your normal Avengers. They're the new Avengers. So Wolverine is in it. Hawkeye is in it. Spider-Woman is in it. Is in the Avengers. And Captain America is not Steve Rogers.
It's Bucky Barnes.
It's right? Bucky Barnes, because after the death of Captain America in Civil War, Bucky Barnes took over the title of Captain America. Yeah. Steve Rogers is alive though. He came back.
It's just Bucky Barnes is
still Captain America. And the reason why Spider-Man is leading the Avengers is because Dr. Octopus has sent Octobots, ginormous Octobots throughout Manhattan.
Octobots.
Go to hell. This is a current thing when I'm when it's just us, he will give me crap about the books, about the wording. Anyway,
About grammar.
go to hell. And Spider-Man's like, yo, get out of the way. He's gonna crush you. Huge Octobot on the way. And the guy is just in his headphones. So Spider-Man jumps in. And he says, wow, thanks, Spider-Man. I can't believe you. But, where's my wallet? Hey, you took my wallet. And like, oh, God, New York, never change. Please. And he says, the guy says, the mayor is right. You're a menace. And the mayor is J. Jonah Jameson. He's the mayor of New York. And him and Marla Jameson are going through couples counseling.
Wait, I have one question though. Why on earth would Spider-Man carry his wallet with them? That'd be a very bad idea.
No, the guy.
Oh.
The guy he saved claimed that Spider-Man stole his wallet.
Oh, okay, he was lying about it. Okay. I get it.
And they're getting outed of the city. They're getting taken out of the city because there's a huge invasion of Octobots.
Yeah.
And Secret Service is going in, and we see Alistair Smythe, the Spider Slayer, across the building, because Alistair Smythe is the son of Spencer Smythe, who created the first Spider Slayers.
Right,
that were hired by J. Jonah Jameson. And the Spider Slayer, Marla is freaking out because she thinks they're gonna die. They're gonna die right here, right now, because Octobots are attacking the city. And to be fair, she ain't wrong. They could die at any moment. And they're going through. So she sits down. She sits Jonah next to her, and they start going through their couples therapy exercises. And and over at
Wait, hold on, go back. I'm sorry.
She's claiming that Spider-Man. Just stop blaming. First, you should stop blaming on Spider-Man.
His mustache looks like it's like infecting onto her, like it's
Shut up. That's what happens when you have a huge mustache and you're kissing your partner. It looks like that. Like your mustache is just merging onto her. And she says, you should trust Spider-Man. He's a hero. And says, no! Spider-Man is not a hero. My son is a hero. And we cut to a hangar where Steve Rogers is telling a guard to stay back, to fall back. We have this is the greatest asset that the government has. They're giving me full authority on. They're giving me full care on it. The president wants the best soldier in the world to protect the biggest asset that we have right now. And Spider-Man is fighting in New York City, and he webs an Octobot to the wall. And guess who showed up? The Fantastic Four! Johnny Storm is like, Peter. Well, actually, does he call him Peter?
No, I think it says Spidey.
He says Spidey. They know who he is, anyways. Spidey, and like, get your own villain, get your own baddie. Let us have fun with this one. And Reed Richards is just thinking about the science, and he's like, maybe we could. They're all connected. They're kind of a hive mind. So if we control one, we control the rest. And so keep one of these alive, and then suddenly Ben Grimm just smashes onto one of them. It's like, Ben! Sorry, my fists only have one setting, which is clobbering. So, Spider-Man, after this whole fight with the Octobot, Spider-Man just goes, alright, I'll leave. And suddenly his spider sense goes off. And the Octobot that he webbed to the wall is blowing up from the inside. Which they shouldn't do that. And you know why? Because Black Cat blew it up from the inside out. And
How'd
she's
she
like,
get inside?
Doesn't matter. He's like, hey, Spidey. She says, hey, Spidey, how about we team up again. And Spider-Man's like, yeah, no. Okay, can I join the Avengers? And Spider-Man's like, that is a terrible idea. No way in hell you're getting into the Avengers. And he just leaves.
You're always biased against a crazy ex-girlfriend, you know. So
No.
I get it.
And he's like, yeah, I need to stop screwing around with Black Cat now that I have a girlfriend. And we introduce that Spider-Man is dating Carly Cooper,
Oh, okay.
a character that Dan Slott created.
Just as.
Who Lalo loves. It's his favorite.
No. And again, Dan Slott created Carly Cooper and many other Spider-Man characters who are now embedded into the mythos of Spider-Man.
Right.
And it's amazing.
Mythos? Is that the right word?
It is.
Mythos. Huh. I never thought mythos would be used for a comic book character. I get like Cthulhu and myths.
No, it is when it's when you're talking about continuity and
Okay.
characters that have been for always. It's
I
part of
would've
the
thought,
mythos of that character.
I would have thought like saga or storyline
And
Canon.
Spider-Man's like reflecting on like
canon.
that too. Spider-Man is like retelling like how he loves his family and members, and you know that whole shebang of Spider-Man.
Right.
And Dr. Octopus shows up on a screen, but Dr. Octopus is not like he's always been. Dr. Octopus is dying, actually. He is dying ever since Amazing Spider-Man 600, where they reveal that Dr. Octopus his body has been decaying for years.
Hey, mine too.
You know, because of getting punched in the face by so many superheroes, and he's just a guy.
Yeah.
A fat man with metal arms. That's it. And over at the New Jersey Air Force Base, where Captain America was there, Electro shows up.
Okay.
And we find out that Captain America, that was not Captain America. That was not Steve Rogers. It was the Chameleon. And
oh shoot!
they
Isn't
got-
the chameleon like. Sorry, there's something special about him.
he can turn into anyone.
Well, yeah, but like.
But
I
he
mean,
can-
in his storyline with Spider-Man, isn't he special in some way? I can't remember.
He was the first Spider-Man villain. He was the first villain that he ever fought. Yes.
Ah, okay, that's what.
Yeah, and he was Captain America.
Yeah.
He's hit into Captain America, and he's like, okay, we got all the tiny little Autobots in, just dump. We got the boss plan, and Dr. Octopus is in the secret location of the Sinister Six, thinking of what they're gonna do, explaining them what they're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
And what he's gonna do is all the Autobots, yeah, they're gonna blow up.
All the giant ones?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
The 27 Autobots that are around Manhattan are gonna blow the hell up. And they're gonna leave nothing behind. And Flint Marko freaks out because guess what? His daughter lives in Manhattan. And they're like, don't worry. Spider-Man will solve it. Dr. Octopus says Spider-Man will solve it. Because across the years, I thought Spider-Man was just a dumbass. And that he would not be able to help us. Like he was just beating me out of luck. But no, Peter Parker is actually the smartest man in the universe.
Wait, does he say Peter Parker? Like he knows?
No, Spider-Man is the smartest.
Okay.
Spider-Man is the smartest man in the universe. And that's something that Peter Parker tells, like, no, I'm not a heavy hitter. I'm not a heavy hitter. Across the first issue, he says, I'm not a heavy hitter like the Hulk or Thor. I'm not the smartest man in the universe like Dr. Reed Richards or Tony Stark. But he is, though. Peter Parker is a genius. He's one of the smartest men in the universe.
Street smart, and he's very tactful.
No, Peter Parker is one of the smartest trio in the universe, in the Marvel universe.
Trio?
Yeah, Dr.
okay.
Reed Richards, Tony Stark, Peter Parker. Boom, the three smartest men in the Marvel universe.
Mm-hmm.
And you will see more of that later over here, because the Avengers, the clock starts running. They have 2 minutes and 28 seconds before the bombs go off. And Spider-Man's like, okay, I'm gonna do as many as Johnny says. Peter, I know you don't think this, but you're the smartest man in the universe. You should help us. You should stay here. Spider-Man like, no. I have to go do damage control over there. And then he clicks him. Wait. First Sunday in November. Daylight savings time. Okay, we have an hour. And he rushes to the front of Tony Stark and Reed Richards, and it's like, okay, boom, 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 boom. We have an hour more, and even Dr. Reed Richards and Tony Stark were like, I could have never thought of that. That was something I could never thought of, and everyone says, now we have an hour. Let's do the best we can with it, and they have. And this is the beginning of the best day ever. Now we have 23 more hours. And he's working at Frontline.
Okay.
Frontline is a newspaper that happened right after Civil War. J. Jonah Jameson created because Daily Bugle was bought by John Bennett. Or someone Bennett, Mr. Bennett. I don't remember his first name. I just remember that. And they're loading stuff up because they're going digital now.
Mm-hmm.
So this character, she's really important. Nora is talking to Peter Parker, giving him so much crap. Like, haha, you're a school graduate. You could be doing much better than what you're doing now. Which is lifting boxes for them. And Phil Urich, nephew of Ben Urich, actually.
Who's Ben Urich again?
Ben Urich is one of the writers of the Daily Bugle.
Oh, okay.
But right now, and we actually heard about his son in Go Down Swinging. His nephew, and this is where he becomes the Hobgoblin.
Oh, shoot.
This is where he becomes the Hobgoblin from Go Down Swinging.
Alrighty.
And Phil Urich is, because he used to be the Goblin. He used to be the Green Goblin. One of the Green Goblins. And they're giving also crap to Phil Urich. Like, you're nothing. And Ben Urich like talks to him like, hey, can you stop giving crap to my nephew, please? And J. Jonah Jameson walks into the offices of Frontline because it used to be the Daily Bugle.
Mm-hmm.
Not used to, but like Robbie Robertson used to work on the Daily Bugle, and then they got fired, and because the Daily Bugle got bought by Bennett. And Jonah Jameson, as the mayor of New York, bought the Daily Bugle, and is giving it to Robbie Robertson.
Mm.
And Robbie's like, oh my gosh, Jonah, thank you so much. Like, I can't believe it. And it was because Marla made him. His wife, Jonah's wife, made him buy the Daily Bugle and give it to him. And Peter Parker's like, okay, guess I'm going home. And when he goes home, he's living with this character named...
Is it his girlfriend?
No, it's not his girlfriend. It's, I don't remember her name. Michelle. It's Michelle. Not Michelle.
Ah, Obama. Gotcha.
Yeah. They're just first names here. So
Michelle
first name.
Obama.
We're on a first name basis right here. I don't remember much of these characters' names because I haven't read this.
There's nothing going against her being Michelle Obama. Other than that she's white, but...
I think this is Michelle... Jones?
Michelle Jones.
Yeah. I think this is Michelle Jones.
Sister to Jessica Jones. I really don't know.
No. Her brother he used to be a bad guy.
Oh, okay.
And he was arrested by Spider-Man and sent to Chicago.
Ah, so it's a odd couple type style thing going on.
Actually, they're not a couple. Peter Parker and...
Well, no, I mean, neither were the odd couple. It was two dudes who were complete opposites.
But they just sleep together. Peter and Michelle.
They do sleep together.
They used to, at least.
Oh. Okay.
A long, long time ago in continuity. But Peter Parker gets home and we find out that his stuff are outside.
Oh.
Why? Because Michelle's brother got out of jail in Chicago and she's moving over there to help him build his life up again. And Peter's like, well, crap. I have to find a place to crash. So he calls Randy Robertson, who's the son of Robbie Robertson, and he's like, hey, Randy. Look, man. And he's like, what do you need, Peter? And like, why would you think I need something? Because you only call me when you need something. And he's like, well,
now that you mention it,
I was just thinking, remember how I was the best roommate ever? He's like, so, Michelle finally had enough of you, right? It's like, I was wondering if, Pete, remember that piece of cheese you left in the fridge for over a freaking year? It's like, yeah, I called him Kevin. You liked him, though. You liked him, right? I thought it was funny. He's like, it wasn't funny. Oh, you didn't think it was funny? Nope.
I called him Kevin.
So, is it a no on being a roommate with you? And he hangs up. He's like, okay, I guess we're calling Betty Brand.
Oh.
And he calls her, and his phone, it goes to voicemail, and his phone turns off because he has no battery left. And he goes to Carly Cooper's home. He goes to his girlfriend's home to see if he can move in with her, kind of to have them bond more, but also he's really desperate.
Well, I'm surprised he didn't call her in the first place if she's his girlfriend.
Yeah, but he's like, I kind of don't want to do this because it would feel like we're moving too fast. And that's exactly what she says. Like, we would be moving too fast. Look at me. I am in this outfit because I'm doing this sports with rollerblades that you didn't even know about. Like, there's so much stuff we don't know about each other. And as a reader, you're like, yeah, there are a lot of stuff we don't know about each other. Because she doesn't know he's Spider-Man. And she's a CSI.
Oh, okay.
For the police department of New York. But she loves Spider-Man. She has that tattoo of Spider-Man right on...
she's a tramp stamp with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Yeah. But she wouldn't accept that Peter Spider.
Wait, how do you know she has a tattoo there?
Because she has said it multiple times.
Oh.
And then when they first started dating, they show like her wearing like short shorts.
Oh, okay.
And it would show like the head of the tattoo of the Spider-Man head. And over at the penthouse of Aunt May and J. Jonah Jameson Sr., they're married now. Aunt May is married.
Oh, so wait, what does that make Peter?
Jonah Jameson is
cousin, technically?
Technically, if you want to go that far, you could say that they're brothers.
No, it'd be cousins. Aunt May is Peter's aunt.
Yeah, Peter Parker was raised.
Step-cousin.
He was raised by...
But I mean, by law, it'd be step-cousin.
By law, they're step-cousins. Yeah. But the way Peter Parker sees it is like, they're little step-brothers.
Isn't it? It's Aunt May, right?
Yeah, it's Aunt May.
Is Aunt May a great aunt?
No.
She's a regular aunt.
She's Peter Parker's aunt.
Yeah, so then...
They're cousins, technically.
Cousins.
How's it weird?
J. Jonah Jameson father.
And then J. Jonah Jameson.
And then J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, okay. No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
I wasn't listening to the whole thing.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, they got married in Amazing Spider-Man 600.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a beautiful wedding, a big wedding, and Peter Parker's like John Jameson Jr. John Jameson
would they
Jr.
choose to do that in a family?
John Jameson Jr. J. Jonah Jameson the third apparently now, and J. Jonah Jameson.
Okay.
No, J. Jonah Jameson Sr., J. Jonah Jameson, and then John Jameson Jr. John is he's visiting his grandpa. And they're like talking about, they're bonding now because he was away for a long time. And he never got to be a grandfather to his grandson. And John is working for Captain America. for Steve Rogers. For Steve Rogers, and he is a pilot. He's an astronaut also, like in Spider-Man the movies.
Right.
Like in the movies, and Marla, who is John's mom, she starts talking to Aunt May, and they're talking about Peter, because Jonah fired Peter Parker from the Daily Bugle because he doctored some pictures to make Jonah Jameson look good in the newspaper, and she's saying, what are Peter's skills? Because I don't want him to be unemployed. Because I don't want any bad blood to be between us. And Aunt May's like, oh, you didn't know? Peter Parker's a genius. He pulls out a scrapbook, and Marla says, you have a scrapbook? It's my son. I keep a scrapbook for him. And he's like, and Peter Parker's talking to Flash Thompson.
Yeah.
Because
he is missing his legs.
He lost his legs in Iraq. Yes. He's not Agent Venom yet. He just came back from the war.
Yeah.
And Peter Parker is literally asking him to crash with in his couch for a few days. And like, Parker, you don't get it. If I had a sock, I would have put it on the freaking door. You're killing my vibe right now. And he's like, what do you mean? Parker, you wouldn't know a waltz from a cha-cha. And Betty Brand is inside. And she's like, Flash, come back to bed. And she slams the door on Peter Parker.
Alright, Torso.
You're a jerk. Oh my god, he's a war hero.
He's also a bully, but you know.
He's not a bully anymore. Ever since the 90s,
right.
he's not a bully.
You're right.
They're best friends.
Wow, he's like, we could talk about this later, but no, he just slams the door.
Or
well, technically Betty does.
And he goes to Mary Jane.
Ah, yes.
And
usually when you hit rock bottom, you do resort to marijuana.
no. He goes to MJ's apartment, and she's like, you want us to live together again?
Oof.
Like a couple? They both start laughing. And she says, oh, honey, I'm home. And Peter and Mary Jane are laughing and like, how was your day, honey? And they're like, oh my gosh, I needed this so much. Thank you for stopping by. I'll see you later. And then he leaves. And they're like, hell no, I'm not living with you anymore. I'm not living with you again. We broke up for a reason. And he goes to knock on Aunt May's door. And he says, I didn't want it to do this. I didn't want it to resort to this. I'm back at her door. At her doorstep. Mace. He's like, oh God, I don't want to be here. I really, really don't want to be here. Can you do anything for me to not have to knock this door?
Hey, I know you raised me and all, but...
No, he doesn't want to ask for help. Like, I've done everything in my life. I just don't want to have to ask for help. Why is the baby here?
What baby? You saw that on camera. He threw a baby.
It was a plastic baby.
You know?
Wow, I threw a plastic baby.
You threw a real, living plastic baby.
And Marla Jameson opened the door.
Uh-huh.
And like, hey, Peter, we knew you were coming.
Yes.
Like, how did you guys know where I was coming? I'm the First Lady of New York. Secret Service called us up.
I drink and I know things.
And she's saying, I'm gonna take you to Horizon Labs. And Peter Parker freaks out like, oh my God, Horizon. I love that place. I've been dreaming of being in that place since I was a kid. And he's like, how do you know Max Modell? You know Max Modell? How do you know Max Modell? And like, I'm a scientist, Peter. I built spider slayers. And Peter's like, yeah, don't tell me about it. And like, what was that? Nothing. And
if there's a Horizon Labs, is there a vertical labs? Like there's a horizontal
No.
labs? There's no vertical lab?
And the Spider Slayers, Alistair Smythe is looking over, scanning for Peter Parker, because guess what? He's looking for all the relatives to J. Jonah Jameson. And since Aunt May and J. Jonah Jameson Sr. are married, that makes Peter his cousin. Technically, or his brother.
Right.
And over at the raft, they're peeling away the Venom symbiote from Mark Gargan. And they're doing it because Mark Gargan is now Venom. And he got the symbiote when he bought it off of Eddie Brock.
Oh, that's his name.
Yeah, that's his name. And they're like, he could die if we keep peeling it off of him. And over at Horizon, we meet Max Modell, who's one of the greatest minds apparently in the Marvel Universe. Also, apparently. And Peter Parker claims that he used to have a Modell computer back in high school, college, and all this his whole time is like, wow, a Modell computer in high school, dude, you're making me feel old. And he's like, and they're showing Peter around. They're giving him a tour of Horizon, and we meet Grady, who's making mirrors that are security cameras. And we also meet
mirrors that are security cameras?
Yes.
Wow.
Hidden cameras.
And no, the mirror is the panel of the camera.
Wow.
It is cool. It's amazing. And we meet Sajani,
Wow.
who's making Reverbium,
Wow.
which is a brand new version of Vibranium.
Wow.
Because Vibranium has become inert ever since the Black Panther made it that way.
Wow.
In Doom War.
Wow.
Stop it. And
That's what
they
I thought.
turn on the machine, and the Spider-Sense just goes off.
Righteousness.
And instead of absorbing energy, it starts reflecting it. And it's launching people backwards. And Spider-Man just digs himself into the ground and starts climbing his way to get to the panel. And he turns the machine off, and they look at the signs that he writes a whole bullcrap of science. And it's not bullcrap, it's legit science in the Marvel Universe. And that impresses Modell so much that he gives him a pop quiz. And it's all Peter Parker, it's stuff that Peter Parker has been through. Like, for example, we have developed an anti-gravity harness. What do we use for an emergency braking system? And Peter Parker's like, well, an anti-magnetic inverter would work. And he says, a space-borne fungus starts replicating. How do we slow up its growth? He says, with fire and sonics, they only exist in an atmosphere. Something born in space wouldn't have defenses against those things. And that impressed Max Modell. And he says, the Grady just says, can I give him a hug? His science is impeccable.
I never actually put together that was why fire and sonics hurt Venom.
Really?
Yeah.
That is legit the reason why.
Huh.
And they hired him on the spot, and says, welcome, you're one of the lucky 7. You have
Wow.
3 out of 6 people. And Peter's like, wait, aren't you guys 7? No, we're looking for the 7th one. It's you. Congratulations, Mr. Parker. And Peter Parker is impressed. He's amazed by this. And he says, okay, can I start tomorrow? I'm sorry, you've been away from science way too long. We're giving you this whole book to catch up on. And it's like, okay, but I really like to start tomorrow. No, don't worry. We're paying you by the hour of this reading time. Here's your first paycheck. It's not a bookmark. It's your paycheck. It's like, whoa, that is so many zeros. And
right after the decimal. 1 decimal 0000.
He's a teenager. How much money do you think he usually makes?
And Peter Parker's happy.
$2.
He's finally happy because he has a dream job and he doesn't suck at all. And it doesn't matter that he's still living outside, like he has no place to crash. Banks will open tomorrow and he will rent the most expensive room in a hotel. Cuz you know what? He's earned it.
Speaking of Owen Wilson, that totally looks like Owen Wilson.
That's Montana.
Yeah, but he looks like...
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
That's the right guy, right? Owen Wilson?
Yeah, it's Owen
Yeah,
Wilson.
okay. Wow.
And over at the Fisk Tower, Fisk heard of the Reverbium, and he wants it for himself. Because that thing can create multiple weapons. Weapons that will make me rich.
Well,
And,
not just him.
yeah.
Weapons that could make anyone rich.
And he says...
He's not the only one with an arms dealership.
But he's the only one who can actually get it. And he says, yeah, Mackendale, would you please... Mackendale, would you please steal that from me? He says, please, Wilson, when I'm wearing my work clothes, call me Hobgoblin. And this is Jason Mackendale, Hobgoblin. And Jason Mackendale was the Hobgoblin for a long time in Spider-Man stories. And now he is gonna get killed. Because Mackendale is working in Africa, in South America, in the Labia. He's doing a job where he kills a mob boss, I think. And he gets a job from Wilson Fisk, so he goes to stack up on armor. And when he gets there, there's someone else already there. Phil Urich is there, and he says, I'm sorry, I broke into this place, I needed to find armor to impress this one girl. And they start laughing. He starts laughing at him, and his ears start to bleed, and his mouth is bleeding, and eyes are covered in blood, and Phil Urich chopped his head off with the blade. And he says, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want you to lose your mind.
Wait, how did...
He has a voice channeler.
That drives people insane?
No, that his laugh is a huge sonic machine.
Oh, okay.
That killed him immediately.
Wow.
And he chops his head off, and he says, I'm the goblin who at least is not dead. And right now, Nora is looking into a gang group, which are the goblins, which is a group apparently filled by white supremacists. And Spider-Man barged into the place, beating the crap out of everyone, along with Black Cat. And after that, he just says, yo, get off. You're just posers. And gets all the information, and Black Cat starts getting interviewed by Nora from the Daily Bugle. And it's like, rule number 1 of superhero, never answer any questions from the press. And they just leave. And Spider-Man is now living in a hotel because of all the money he's making, and he's surprised by his girlfriend, who walks into his hotel. He's like, oh, I didn't expect to see you here. Well, the room service must be nice because I was about to order a Carol Lee Cooper. He says, don't worry, I'm sorry to just surprise you like this. I brought Netflix if you want to just hang out for a while.
I brought Netflix.
Yeah.
Huh.
Because back then it was CDs. It was DVDs.
You sure it was Netflix then, or was it just Blockbuster?
No, it's a DVD. Netflix used to be a DVD company.
Really?
Yeah. This is 2010, by the way. And he's now working the day, and he's like, holy crap, how did I freaking did not... She could have found out I was Spider-Man, honestly. Because she's a CSI, and I am an idiot who
I noticed something though. It's about dang time that Fantastic Four showed up. Cause what the heck in the movies? Like, why didn't these characters may not have had their powers yet, but we don't even hear a word from them. You know, like in the CW shows, Blue Beetle's not a character,
But they mention him.
but they mention Ted Kord all the time in the first few seasons.
Well, in the
Like,
movies, when it comes to the movies,
They don't establish that Reed Richards is even alive, which is lame.
because
to
they
me.
don't plan that. Well, they plan far away to create a bigger universe, but they don't really.
Well, if I was creating a Marvel universe, Disney, basically, if I was Disney and I want to control everything, I would plan on having pretty much every single character in the Marvel universe.
Uh-huh.
That would be smart.